From a deserted Japanese island with a concealed, dark, and troubled history hidden within its deteriorating structures, to a towering, vacant skyscraper in Venezuela once inhabited by approximately 5,000 squatters. In this video, we will explore the most significant abandoned, large-scale projects in the world. Number 5. Wonderland Amusement Park. We begin with Wonderland Amusement Park, located just a short 20-minute drive from the Chinese capital, Beijing. Originally conceived in the early 1990s, this park was meant to be the largest amusement park in Asia. It was designed to occupy a vast 50-hectare area of undeveloped farmland, making it nearly as large as the renowned Tokyo Disneyland in Japan. The Chinese property developer Rainwood Group had high hopes for Wonderland to become their flagship project, drawing millions of visitors from the nearby metropolis. Construction of Wonderland Amusement Park commenced in the 1990s. The vision for the site included a Disneyland-style theme park with an iconic castle at its center, surrounded by medieval-themed structures and walls. Regrettably, in 1998, midway through the park's construction, all work suddenly came to a halt, leaving the park deserted. Local residents began speculating about the abrupt suspension of the massive project. Some stories suggested a curse on the park's location, while others rumored the discovery of a mass grave during construction. However, the actual reason was much simpler. Due to financial disputes with the local government and farmers who had been working on the land even before construction began, the entire project was halted. Disagreements over property prices prevented developers from reaching an agreement with the locals, leading to the project's abandonment. The project threatened the livelihood of farmers and their families who were not willing to surrender their sole source of income. As Rainwood and their workforce hastily departed the site, the partially constructed attractions gradually crumbled, and nature reclaimed the area. Over the years, the local farmers took back the land, resuming their agricultural activities amid the backdrop of a deteriorating medieval fantasy. An attempt to revive the project was made by developers in 2008, but it ultimately failed because the built structures had already deteriorated beyond repair. 5 years later, the adjacent structures were ultimately razed, bringing an end to any prospects of completing the project. Number 4. The Memphis Pyramid. Considering that the city of Memphis in Tennessee is named after the historic city of Memphis in Egypt, Mark Hartz conceived an ambitious project for his hometown, intending to replicate its ancient namesake. His initial vision involved constructing 3 pyramids, all positioned along the Mississippi River to emulate the renowned Giza Pyramid Complex. These 3 structures were planned to be built at 2/3 the original size and in the same positions as their Egyptian counterparts. The project aimed to establish Memphis as a globally recognized city, similar to landmarks like St. Louis's Gateway Arch or Paris's Eiffel Tower. However, this ambitious plan did not materialize until Mark Hart's son, John Hartz, resurrected the idea in the 1980s. The new proposal abandoned the 3-pyramid complex in favor of a single main pyramid, towering at 98 meters in height with a base of 180 meters, making it one of the largest pyramids in the world. After this concept was embraced by Tennessee entrepreneur John Tigret, construction on what would eventually become the Memphis Pyramid commenced in September 1989. However, even before the construction was completed and the doors opened 2 years later, the Memphis Pyramid encountered numerous challenges. Many of the planned amenities for the structure had to be scrapped due to financial difficulties. These amenities included a music museum, a radio station, an observation deck, an outdoor theme park, and a hard rock cafe. So when the Memphis Pyramid officially opened its doors in 1991, it served as a basketball arena. And the grand opening was a tremendous success, with more than 21,000 visitors filling the entire building. However, on this pivotal day, a plumbing issue led to toilets inside the arena backing up and flooding the basement, as the city's sewer system couldn't handle such a large crowd. Over the following years, the Memphis Pyramid hosted a variety of events and functions, including basketball tournaments, concerts, and a historic boxing match between Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, which became the highest-grossing boxing event of its time. Despite turning a profit from these events, the Memphis Pyramid lacked a permanent tenant to ensure its long-term financial viability. In 2001, the city of Memphis attempted to bring an NBA team to the city with the Memphis Pyramid as their home arena. The city invested an estimated $7 million to retrofit the facility to meet the needs of the Memphis Grizzlies. However, after only 3 years, the Grizzlies relocated to the newer and more modern FedEx Forum, which opened in 2004. Due to the city's contract with the Grizzlies, the pyramid could only be used with the team's approval, leaving it mostly abandoned for the next decade. A committee was established to explore potential long-term uses for the vacant building, including the conversion of the pyramid into an indoor theme park, a casino, or a shopping mall. Regrettably, none of these ideas came to fruition, and the original vision for the pyramid remained unrealized. Despite its prolonged vacancy, there was still hope for the Memphis Pyramid. American retailer Bass Pro Shops reached an agreement with the city of Memphis for a 55-year lease of the pyramid, with plans to transform it into one vast retail store. Today, the Memphis Pyramid is the site of the world's largest Bass Pro Shop, complete with facilities for archery, a shooting range, and even a laser arcade. Following the significant transformation, the pyramid's new occupant has achieved tremendous success, attracting 3 million visitors in its inaugural year. Number 3. Hashima Island. Situated just 15 kilometers southwest of Nagasaki, Japan, is a small island that measures a mere 500 meters across at its longest point. Hashima Island, seemingly frozen in time, features numerous concrete structures, seawalls, and remnants dating back to the early 20th century. Isolated from the world, Hashima Island stands as a testament to Japan's rapid industrialization and the hidden, dark history within the abandoned structures. Hashima Island was first settled in 1887 when a significant reserve of underwater coal was discovered in the region. Mitsubishi subsequently acquired the island and initiated the construction of a coal mining facility, complete with seawalls encircling the entire island to protect it from typhoons. By 1916, the company began building various amenities to accommodate the growing population of workers on the island, including a 7-story apartment building, a school, a hospital, a community center, and entertainment facilities such as a cinema, swimming pool, and numerous shops. In 1959, Hashima Island reached its peak population, with 5,300 people residing on this compact piece of land. However, by the late 1960s, petroleum had rapidly replaced coal as Japan's primary energy source. This transition forced the closure of many coal mines across the country, leading to a decline in Hashima's coal facility and population. As most residents departed, Mitsubishi officially ceased operations on the island, leaving it slowly abandoned. The island remained a relic of its industrial past for the next 3 decades, devoid of permanent inhabitants. The buildings from its industrial era gradually deteriorated as nature reclaimed the island. By 2002, Mitsubishi relinquished ownership of Hashima Island and transferred it to the town of Takashima, eventually passing it to the city of Nagasaki. Hashima Island quickly piqued the interest of curious explorers eager to uncover its history and explore its abandoned structures. Consequently, in 2005, the city of Nagasaki reopened access to the island for journalists. Just a few years later, the island became accessible to the general public and has since become a popular tourist destination for those seeking a glimpse of the architecture from the Taisho and Showa eras. In the same year, the Japanese government initiated a bid to designate Hashima Island as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, emphasizing the historical ruins and well-preserved architecture on the island. However, this move faced opposition from both the North and South Korean governments due to the island's dark history, which Japan had omitted from the UNESCO application. Unbeknownst to most, from the 1930s until the end of World War II, Hashima Island served as the site of numerous human rights violations, where Korean and Chinese prisoners of war were subjected to extremely harsh working conditions. An approximate range of 130 to 1,300 forced laborers reportedly lost their lives on the island due to exhaustion, malnutrition, and poor working conditions. Despite Korea's objections to the UNESCO nomination, Hashima Island has now been recognized as a World Heritage Site and welcomes thousands of tourists every year. Number 2. Berlin Tempelhof Airport. As one of the earliest airports in the German capital, Berlin Tempelhof holds a storied history, having been a witness to and participant in many of the country's most pivotal moments. Officially established as an airport in 1923, Berlin Tempelhof served as the primary and exclusive air traffic center in the region. During the late 1930s, it rapidly rose to prominence as one of the world's busiest airports, owing to its proximity to the German capital. Following the fall of the Berlin Wall and the reunification of Germany in 1989, Berlin-Tempelhof became one of 3 airports serving a city that once had been divided. For several subsequent years, it continued to operate as a conventional commercial airport. However, in 1996, the city government of Berlin announced a resolution that would ultimately result in the closure of the airport. Unlike the other featured projects in this video, Berlin-Tempelhof actually fulfilled its intended purpose and was abandoned solely due to its aging infrastructure. With the aim of centralizing all domestic and international air traffic within the city at a single hub, Tempelhof and its neighboring Tegel Airport were slated for closure and replaced by the new Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. However, many Berlin residents opposed this decision, leading to a referendum to keep the airport operational. Despite their efforts, the referendum ultimately failed, and the final commercial flight from Berlin-Tempelhof departed on October 30, 2008. Following this, the city of Berlin announced plans to transform the old airport into a city park, allocating a budget of 60 million euros. In an event attended by thousands of people, the area, known as Tempelhofer Feld, opened and is now the world's largest inner-city open space, covering a total area of 380 hectares, surpassing even New York City's renowned Central Park. Some remnants of the site's history, such as the parts of the old terminal, hangars, and the runway, can still be observed today despite the transformation. Presently, the former airport serves as a venue for various events, including music festivals and fairs. Lastly, we have the Torre de David, also known as Venezuela's squatter skyscraper. Standing at a height of 170 meters with 45 floors, the Torre de David is the 3rd tallest skyscraper in Venezuela, located in the capital city of Caracas. Its construction commenced in 1990 with the intention of creating a mixed-use building, combining residential and office spaces in the heart of the densely urbanized capital. However, just 4 years into the construction of the skyscraper, work was abruptly halted due to the Venezuelan banking crisis. The government assumed immediate control of the incomplete tower, which lacked essential utilities and services required for a functional building. It had no electricity, running water, windows, and in some areas, unfinished walls. In 2001, the Venezuelan government even attempted to auction off the building along with other structures in the complex, but there were no takers for the rundown and unfinished property. Concurrently, the entire city of Caracas grappled with a housing shortage, leaving hundreds of thousands of people without homes. As a result, the citizens of Caracas gradually moved into the buildings within the complex and occupied them. As the towering skyscraper had sat abandoned for over a decade, the complex became a home for up to 200 homeless families in search of a place to live. By some estimates, about 40% of the entire homeless population of the city found shelter inside the tower. The residents of the tower started to establish their own utility services, including an improvised aqueduct system that supplied running water up to the 22nd floor. Motorcycles were used as a means of transportation within the first 10 floors, navigating a system of winding paths and ramps. The building even had its own salons, barbershops, parking garage, and an unlicensed dental clinic. By 2011, the population of Torre de David had grown to as many as 2,500 people and even peaked at one point with around 5,000 individuals. In 2014, following careful planning and discussions with the tower's residents, the Venezuelan government initiated a program to relocate hundreds of families from the Torre de David to new government-provided homes in a new city south of the capital. As of 2015, it was reported that all residents had successfully been relocated to their new homes in Cuba. There have been various discussions about the possible future of the Torre de David. Some have suggested demolishing the tower entirely, while others advocate for creating affordable housing within the complex. In 2018, the building suffered significant damage from an earthquake, which caused the partial collapse of the top 5 floors. To this day, the tower remains unfinished and abandoned, serving as a temporary center for emergency care. What are your thoughts on these abandoned megaprojects? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.